Take two. We're back. Players, coaches, fans young and old from across the globe, welcome to the Week 5 recap show of the Bigs. As always, I'm your host, I'm your commissioner, I am Team Westside, and it is my goddamn honor to be here with you all recapping the greatest league in the world. Week 5 in the books. Send it. We're done. In the mail. Adios. Nearing a quarter pole of the season. No. Nearing the three-quarter pole of the season. Because in horse racing, the last stretch is the quarter pole. So, you know what I mean. We're not talking about the ponies. We're talking about puck. And what did we learn this week? And learn is the bad way to say it. What were we reminded of this week? Well, the number one thing we were reminded of that every game, period, shift, point doesn't matter if it was a Monday matinee that doesn't exist or if the point or point 4 point came with 6 seconds left on a Sunday. No spoiler. Every game matters, and this week proved it. We also learned that there's starting to be a division within our standings, and we learned that there's a new number one. No spoilers. However, we're not going to start with that game. We're going to start with a squad that something about them gets me going, revs my motor. And I'm talking about the Burt Macklin squad, because they downed the bearded Borland motherfucking backhanders 193.2 to 168.3. Jacoby getting it done. Improves to 3-2 on the year. Borland backhanders now drop to 1-4. Honestly, not the biggest surprise that this was a kind of like a come down to earth game for the flannel fucker. I'm not Boots, I'm sorry. Just because, speaking of, just because last week he rallied the troops, they gave 240 points. They slayed the dragon. They took down their foe. And while they're still dancing, they're celebrating, Monday morning still comes around. And you still got to get up and go to work and put on that hard hat. And they seem to have forgotten to do that this week, and Jake took advantage. Honestly, it was actually a tight game up until Friday. And as I always like to point out, say how goalies decide games. Well, the last 3 days is what makes the mark. It's great to know Monday, Tuesday, you jump out to a big lead, but everyone knows that games come down to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, as we saw. And they were basically tied throughout the week. And then Friday, Jake won. Saturday, Jake won. Sunday, Jake won. He outscored Connor 100.3 points to 75 during those 3 days. And how do you do it? No surprises. No surprises. No spoilers either, because they're right there in your face. Sorokin, 17.5 points. Leon Draisaitl, 17.4. And Linus Ullmark, 16 points. Those two big guys in net, they did the job, and they were the difference maker. They alone accumulated 33.5 out of Jake's 47 goaltending points. And his guys in total went 6-4. Flash to Connor's goalies, who went 1, 4, and 1 for a total of 10.1 points. Sorokin almost doubled his whole squadron of goalies. Jake, good thing his goalies were there because his team was actually the lowest goal total with only 10 goals. But you don't need goals when you got that kind of goaltending. Shauner, you did a good job earlier in the year. Even though you're 0-3, you felt you were on the rise. You got that big win last week. You made changes that you felt that you needed. I wonder what this game does to your psyche. Because looking at the numbers, looking at the stats, and how I say goalies win games, Samsonov now on the IR. I wonder if that is now a bigger problem than you thought it was entering this week. 1-4-1, and outside of Andres Vasilevsky, you said it night one, boom or bust squad. And your other three goalies are Talbot, Comrie, and Vanecek. They could be great. They're all in up and coming sleeper young squad kind of teams. I tried that last year. I wonder if this is a problem in that locker room. Because your offense, 158.2 points, third highest offense in the league, wasted from zero goaltending. Bergeron, 18.6 points. Brad Marchand, 17.6 points. Tage Thompson, 16 points. Good job, Jake. 3-2. Shauner, 1-4. Moving on to the battle for the number one spot. And this time, Timmy Westside with a giant needle. Quack, quack. Rubber puckies go down 185.9 to 163.8. I claim number one spot in the league going 4-1. Ken Dog now drops to 3-2. I tried to hype that up because this game was kind of a dud for a number one ranked game. Tilly didn't quite live up to it. 185, average week. You can squeak out a win maybe, but you like to be closer to that 200 range. Ken Dog, 163.8, lowest point total of the week. I'm now on a 3-game winning streak, and how did I do it this week? My boy Jackie E, the Ike Bike, 17.6 points. Igor Shesterkin, 14.9. Keep doing what you're doing, buddy. And Sergachev, 14.2 points. Have a day. Have a Sunday, because I think he got like 12 of them on that day, on that game. Anyways, that was enough. And once again, my goalies were the difference, because our offense is just like Shauner and Jake's game. Our offense were in complete lockstep. Mine were 153.2 points, and yours had 154.9 points. What went wrong? You know what went wrong. What went wrong? My goalies went 4-2 for 32.7 points. And your goalies. Let's talk about your goalies for a second, because I was getting on Shauner like, ooh, how do you only get 10 points? How do you only get 8.9 points? 5-2 goaltending record this week. That might be a record. I don't know if we've ever had a team with 0 goaltending wins. You were giving the gluck to Mr. Kata, how you like them apples hot, for the past month. Well, he didn't come through this this week. He did get an overtime loss. Um, but if it makes you feel any better, you're still the champ. You're 3-2. You're fine. Shut up. Um, and it was a weird week for goalies for everyone. Jake had the highest goaltending starts with 10. You, Ken Dog, had 7 starts. And then me, Boots, Lair, and Schauner only had 6 goaltending starts. Normally it's at like 8 to 10, 11 range, but as we all saw, weird starts, a lot of backups, injuries for Schauner. Weird stuff this week. You'll be fine. Um, I was um, I was up throughout most of the week, and then Saturday and Sunday, Kenny wouldn't go away. The fucking champion winning mentality. Never say die. They got to, I think, within 4 points was the closest on Sunday, and then Cooch and Skirgy just went off, and then I got a win from Sturkin. That's all she wrote on Sunday. Um, your top 3 go-getters were Konechny, 15.7 points, Kaprizov, 14.5, and Joe Pavelski, who's a thorn in my fucking side, with 14.2. Lowest point total of the week for your squad. And when your top go-getter only has 15 points, it's tough to win. It's tough. It's just it's a dud. You move on. You're 3-2. I'm 4-1. And let's move on to the last and the biggest matchup of the week. Last week we were tooting our horns. Highest point total ever for the league. This week we all stunk. No one had over 200 points except the Breakfast Club and the Comeback Kid. The Breakfast Club, 203.8 points. Comeback Kid, 203.4 points. The Comeback Kid cannot live up to his name. The Breakfast Club escapes with a win. They're now 3-2. The Comeback Kid now drops to 1-4. This was a fun one. It came down to the last game, the last play. Apparently, the last 6 seconds. Bootsy going off. I was sound asleep. And we'll get to Kristoff because he's not watching. He's sitting there with his fucking hands on his knees. Can't believe I'm watching this. We'll get to him. But Lair Bear won 5 out of the 7 days. And he was up huge twice. After Wednesday, he was up 75.5 to 49 points. A difference of 26, almost 26. And then after heading into the weekend, Larry was up 150.9 to 115.7, a difference of 35 points. So 2 times Kristoff just would not go away, kept clawing back, kept coming back, but he couldn't complete it. Almost the greatest comeback in history, but close is only good in horseshoes and hand grenades. How did Lair Bear scratch across a win? Death, taxes, and Connor the Tripod McDavid led the way with 21.2 points. Pasta had 17, and Logan Thompson 15.9 points. That's now 4 out of the past 5 weeks that Connor has led the way for Larry's squad, and they're 3-2. You go as your big dogs go, and he's fucking leading the way, doing what he does best, scoring goals, getting points, wheeling biddies. um, his goalies, like most of us, other than Ken and Sean, uh, good, nothing amazing. 3-2-1 for 31.8 points, and I really wish that there was that that win expectancy graph where it's like there's Lair and then they come closer and Sunday must have been like fucking roller coaster tycoon. Um because Lair was down late into Sunday and then you guys saw what happened. Apparently something happened with 6 seconds to go. Kreider got that power play goal, slap pass, tap in goal. Just wild. And I wish like I could break down these games more for when these kind of games happen because I mean back and forth, snip snap, snip snap, snip snap. He gets the job done. He's 3-2. Bootsy. I don't know what you want me to say here. I feel after going over the notes, you're allowed to be upset. You were the number 2 ranked team in terms of points this week. However, I think if you had won, you would have known that you stole a win. Because you only won 2 days, but those 2 days were monsters. You had 60.1 points on Thursday and then 70.2 points on Saturday. How are you? That's how you make a game of it. Um, Again, almost lived up to your name. Last week, Arner was fucking chirping. Yeah, you can come back from 1 point. These were legit comebacks, and you were oh so close. Zero point 0.4 points close. Um, Makes it feel any better. You had the most goals of the week with 21, and you were led the way by Adam Fox, 23 points, highest go getter this week in all the league. Mikko Rantanen, 21.6, and Mr. Barry, 16.4. You were also the only team with um, multiple 20 plus point players. Ifs and buts for candy and nuts, we've all have a Merry Christmas. Um, Last thing I'm going to say for Bootsy, I don't know if there is anything. I don't know if there's such thing as a good loss in all of sports, obviously, but in fantasy, your team did their job. You just ran into the wrong team at the wrong time. Having said that, I think I would have rather have been Ken or Connor. You know what? I didn't come to play. Shake it off. Move on. But you had 203 points, second in the league, and you still got to scratch that L across your forehead. Um, Good loss, bad loss. It's still a loss, and as we see, they start to add up. They matter. If you get a win in October, it counts the same as a win in February, January. Tough break, bad beat. You hung around when maybe you shouldn't have, but you are the comeback kid. That's all I've got for you guys this week. This was my second take. Standings. Let's take a quick look. Timmy Westside, 4-1, top of the leaderboard, stick taps. And then we've got a cluster of the Breakfast Club, Rubber Puckleys, and Burt Mackin squad at 3-2. And then we got our two bottom dwellers at 1-4. Now, this week's matchups. Timmy Westside takes on the Burt Mackin squad. Portland Backhanders take on the Breakfast Club, and Rubber Puckies take on the Comeback Kid. This could be an early defining week. Jake and I are the only matchup that has two teams with winning records. And if the winners keep winning and the losers keep losing, then all of a sudden there's that bigger gap. And those 4 games that you gotta claw and scratch out of gets a little tougher. And it becomes tough early. However, if the script is flipped, then I'm at 4-2. We got a bunch of teams at 3-3. You guys are right there. I don't know what's gonna happen. I can't wait to find out. Lace them up. Let's go.